welcome to episode 13 of the AdoreKnit Podcast, where I am consistently inconsistent. I love to record, but I like to record lots of different places. I don't know why, it makes it more interesting for me. So this week, what do I have for you? I have an FO, some new cast-ons, whips, and yeah, a little bit about what I've been reading, and that's about it. I also have an 8-year-old. I've had an 8-year-old though. We just had his party. So let's jump right into it. First up, new glasses. Woohoo! Guys, I frequently buy glasses from zenny.com. I don't frequently. This is the second time I bought glasses from there. And I was able to use our health savings account, HSA, to pay for them, which is amazing. So I need to put it on my calendar in November or December to just use up the last of our funds for this. Because every year we put, every year we put about $2,000 over there. Because, I don't know, there were a few years there where we had multiple trips to the emergency room. Like Ro twice in 1 year, Tristan, Steve, like it was just bad. We haven't needed it the last couple of years as much, but for emergency trips, but we've had plenty of other expenses. But this year I said, I'm getting new glasses. So I got these that gradiate and they're larger, like more squarish, I don't know, ovalish. And then I got a solid, this teal color all the way across, but they're more oblong, and sunglasses, which is why I needed to get them to begin with, because my sunglasses fell on their face and the lens got completely scratched. They fell on concrete, and you know, I can't complain because I've had those sunglasses probably 10 years. Like they gave me a good long amount of wearing. So I'm actually going to take these off because I can see you a little better out here without those on. So 2 pairs of sunglasses, and yeah, so I got 4 pairs of glasses for $130. And one of the sunglasses were polarized. So, okay, that's it. That's my commercial for Zenny. No, they did not pay me for that. So here's my finished object. It's not actually finished. Why would it be? I need to put the charcoal colored pom-pom tassel that I'm going to put there at the end. But this is the Birds and Ships cowl by Caitlin Hunter. It has this great, I haven't even blocked it, lace detail down the front. And I think I'll wear it the rest of the show because I'm kind of cold. I use sun-soaked yarns, like I told you. So last time I mentioned I wanted to knit this. And our team colors for the pigskin party knit along are purple, aqua, and yellow. So the mustard counts as yellow, and the purple, so that got us extra team points. And Caitlin's not part of the cowl, but Sun-Soaked Yarns is, so that got us points, so yay! This is my first finished object ever for a pigskin party, so I am so proud of myself that this year I've been able to focus and participate and really be involved. So I don't know if I think this is the first year that they've done teams, and maybe the teams are making it easier for me to be involved. So this is a very old, like Dolman style short sleeve sweatshirt. It's French terry, so it's not brushed. Anyways, it's lightweight and I love it, and I found it in my closet. I loved it so much, actually. It's from Timberland, so I got a good discount on it when I bought it, but I loved it so much that I bought 2 of them. So, because I knew it wouldn't come back. It's kind of like heavy, it's jersey, it's like t-shirt fabric. Anyways, it has these cool pockets down here. So I found it and I've been wearing it, even though I should really have on long sleeves because it's 65 degrees out, and that is way too cold. Way too cold for me. So I cast this on, finished it, and used just over half a skein, or exactly half a skein. That's what it was. I used exactly half a skein, and the skein itself was a little bit heavier. So I had some left, half a skein left-ish, and I wanted to use it all up because this was my Slay the Stash yarn for this year. I've had it for 12 or 18 months, so I just wanted to finish it up. So I pulled together the barley hat pattern. Sorry, I kicked you. Stop bouncing. The barley, for the stitch count, I picked up size 7 needles. 7, 6s or 7s. You know what I'm realizing? These are 5s. I was doing 5s for the ribbing, and then I was going to go up for the body of the hat, but I totally missed that. Well, I guess the hat's being knit on size 5s, so it's going to be really quite warm. I took the stitch lace pattern from my cowl and put it on here, thinking that I am going to, so I ran one in the back and one in the front, so I'll wear it kind of like this, and it'll go over the top. That's my plan for the lace detail. What else to tell you about it? It's really squishy. It's even better than the cowl, like the texture of the yarn. You know, there's just something about yarn how double knit at a tight gauge. So because of the yarn being double, it looks to me like there are more gold and black specks in it, or sections, than the single, which obviously it would. And I like it just as much. I think it's still a beautiful, beautiful thing. So this was my football knitting this Sunday. And yeah, put in some good time on it. So that's fun. If I run out of yarn, which is a big possibility, I have no idea what I'll do. I'm planning to put the same big chunky tassel that's going to be on the front here on the top, and maybe I'll make, maybe I'll vary the size of the 2 tassels, the black tassels. We'll see how I handle that. So, and I may not waste my sun-soaked yarns for the tassels, just because I don't really feel comfortable counting a pom-pom as part of my knitting yardage. Just, I don't know. It's not for me. So the next thing on my needles, we talked about everything. So these are the Bizors, Bubbles and Bizors pattern, and this is my friend's bag. I love it. I keep my duck and my turkey on there. I feel like this will be the perfect bag for Thanksgiving knitting. So like in a couple months, I'll want this to be front and center, because right now my pastel dark crystal sock doesn't really match, and I like them to match, but I also want to use my friend's bag. So, and the other thing, tangent, this is by Bling Your Strings. She's in Canada. She's very sweet. We love her. I have been using my bags with loops way more than my others, and I think part of that is I walk to the bus stop twice a day, and I knit when I walk, and so I can just have it hanging off my wrist and I'm knitting, and it's much easier than other things I could do. So I'm gravitating towards bags with wrist straps and away from, just a square bag. So yeah, so this is it. Yeah, I'm realizing that I was talking about casting this on and you haven't seen it. So dark crystal is the colorway that I picked. I got it down to like 3. I stood at the counter, I closed my eyes, I shuffled them up, and then I picked one, and with my eyes closed. And that's the one I'm knitting. So this to me is a perfect Easter colorway. Like, I don't know, it just reminds me of that. Pastel. So yeah, the nice robin's egg blue, anyways, I don't need to describe the colors, but look at this. I'm gonna hold still. Does that little stitch marker not match perfectly? Ugh, I love it. I love it when a thing comes together. So I've got about 4 inches past the leg, and I need to do 5. So because this pattern is stretchy and ribbit-esque, it's not rib, but it's got some rib features in it. I'm not going to do ribbing at the top. I'm just going to continue in pattern. I'm trying to decide what bind off to use. For this cowl, I did the, hang on, it's coming, Kitchener Stitch 2x2 rib bind off, which is, let's see, I did it correctly for 3/4 of it and not for the rest. So it looks like that. You get this real sort of twisted look to your edge, at least I do when I do it. So I find it, I don't know, I like it. I did it at the bottom of my Sunset Highway and the cuffs, and I think it's just a pretty feature. my kitchening skills are not on par with my knitting skills. So the more I can do it, the better I will get at it. But did I show you the back of this too? It's very nice indeed. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use that on the top of this. It will make it a little bit thicker, but it's a very stretchy bind off. Where's the end? There it is. Yeah. See, it makes it as stretchy as the knitting itself. I probably will, just because I'm enjoying that, and practice makes perfect, right? The more often I do it, the better I'll be at it. My neck is really cold, so I'm gonna put this on. Last night at soccer, because we live at the soccer fields now, I was cold. And lo and behold, in my big duffel purse thing that I carry, which I need to move out of because it's like a beach bag, summer colors, and it is not summer weather anymore. But inside it, there was a Tristan sweatshirt, like a zip front. I wore it as a scarf, tied it around my neck. I'm sure I looked very, very cute. But you know what? That little bit of extra around my neck made all the difference. So I've also stopped wearing my sandals all the time and moved into my, I want to say stegman, but that's not what they're called. Halflinger clogs. Back in high school, I lived in these in Birkenstocks, and I've found my way back to the clogs because they're great with hand knits. So here's that. Yeah, I'm not wild about this pattern. It's I like the way the foot came out. I don't so much like the way the leg looks, but you know, sometimes change is good. It's exciting. It gives you something different to do. On this part, it's a couple row repeat, easily memorizable on the foot. On the leg, I think it's like 7 or 8 row repeat, and that's a little harder for me to keep track of. It's not hard to do, but I do have to watch which row I'm on, and I've ripped back a couple stripes. I've ripped back 2 stripes twice because I wasn't paying close enough attention. But I was watching on Prime a riveting documentary about comic books and superheroes and the evolution since the 40s and 50s to modern day superheroes. So the sociologist in me, that's what I went to school for, and I actually took a pop culture class when I was in college, and we studied a little bit about Superman and what he represented, but it was really interesting to hear the comparison of the gods, or not the gods, of comic book characters to like the Greek gods. Like, I had never put 2 and 2 together that, you know, it's a similar type of never-ending wealth of stories that keep reinventing the character and that people just like enjoy. So anyways, it was good. It was Stanley was in it, and a bunch of the early or the groundbreaking artists that changed at different points, like the psychedelic movement and how that changed comics, and how Andy Warhol was influenced by them. And it was just really an interesting, it was like treating a goofy, what I think of as a goofy subject, as a very serious academic thing that let's investigate and review. So I enjoyed it very much. And they also made the point that 15 years ago, comic books, like when X-Men and the first Spider-Man movies came out, that comic books weren't Comic-Cons as popular as they are today. Like, comic books didn't have the heyday that they're in the middle of right now. And I say comic books, I should say comics, or because since whoever owns it, Disney, bought Marvel Studios, and like those movies have taken over, and every summer we expect it, and the Avengers and Justice League, like there's almost always, every couple of months there's a new comic book movie coming out, which is awesome. And I have frequently said to you guys kind of dismissively that, oh yeah, my dad read comic books, and that I realized is part of that old mindset that comic books are so I don't know where I was on my comic book tangent. My father called. But anyways, it was a very interesting show to watch. So, and I showed you these, and I said I'm not wild about them. And I think that's all I have to say. I'm not going to start knitting right now because I can't tell where I am in this pattern. So, these are my September DVD socks, and they are coming along. The last project that I have to share with you is also a new cast on, of course, so it can count. The Baudelaire socks by Cookie A. So you can see the stitch pattern. Here comes the devil, speak of him, troublemaker, father. Okay, I'm back. Dad came over to get a bunch of elastic waist knit pants for me, which luckily I had like 5 or 6 pairs to send to my mom, because on Saturday night she fell down going to one of her girlfriend's houses and broke 2 bones in her wrist. So she's been to the orthopedic, and it's the best case scenario, but she does have to have a cast for 6 to 8 weeks, and she can use her fingers, but it hurts. So at least right now. So she texted me this morning and said, do you have some elastic waist pants I can have? Borrow, not have, but whatever. So I just sent her a bunch. So yeah. And he brought over to me some tomatoes and some board games. So I was telling you about the Baudelaires. Yes. So I do love this pattern. I know I went on and on about it last time, so I'm not going to go so crazy, but this is a Cookie A pattern. I'm knitting, I think it's the medium size. That's my pigskin party stitch marker, progress keeper right there. I moved it so I'd know where I was after today's cast. So that's it. Oh, and this yarn is Opal. This is my second skein of it. The first skein, I'll get that much left. I was thinking I would do both feet with the original skein, although maybe I still have the tag. I don't know if they're the same tie lot, and I don't want them to look different. They look pretty close. I bought them at the same place within 2 months of each other. I don't know. Do I dare risk it? We'll see. So, those are there. And these are, I bought 2 new pairs of Chigo's because I didn't have enough. And I have a pair of signatures. Yeah. That I'd be very happy to get rid of. Jake brakes on the interstate. This is super kinky. I don't know how to fix it. The tips work great, but the cable is less than ideal. So if you would like to give this needle a good home, send me a message or leave a comment below. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to start doing a new thing. I want to do that. I want to do on Instagram every photo, once a month, I'm going to do the hashtag AdoreKnit, no S. And I'll do a prize drawing every month for the shop. So if you have progress keepers that you use and love, progress keepers or markers from our little shop, which is AdoreKnit on Etsy, tag them and you'll be entered. So there's that. I think that's all I have for knitting. When Dad was here, I did have a little snack. 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm eating chocolate. If you are trying to be low carb, low sugar, any of those things, this is Choc Zero. This is 50% dark chocolate. I think it's 1 carb per square and it's perfect. I can't live without chocolate. I have to have chocolate in my life. So this was a great substitute for a Hershey's or whatever. So I do eat those. I have some new yarn to share with you this week. So that was Barbie's Malibu Christmas. I think Jen was showing this off. It's beautiful. And this is actually this is a fingering, self-striping, 435 yards, 80, 10, 10, cashmere nylon. That's why. It's super fat and thick and lots of plies. It's beautiful. So this is a self-striping yarn. So I cannot wait to use this. I don't know what I'm gonna knit. Because to get a cashmere base, I mustn't have been thinking about socks. Although maybe they're like treat myself socks. That could have been what I was thinking. So, no. I also got, because this colorway, I think this is why I went there was no way I could not get this colorway. Speckles, purple, gold, mustard, Rambler in the Wilderness. Wait, Wilderness. This would count for the Woods Challenge right now. Maybe I'll do this. This is her Sheepish sock, which is a 75-25, 463 yards. Yay! Gosh, that's pretty. And then, yeah, this is the exclusive for the pigskin party. This is called Random Fandom. So this one is self-striping. I think it's 4 or 5 stripes. And this is also the sheepish sock. So really pretty. Oh, it smells like superwash. I don't know what that smell is. It doesn't smell sheepy. It doesn't smell vinegary. It just smells like rhinestone. You know, like in those barns where there's so much yarn and it all smells delicious. I'm just getting high on yarn fumes over here, don't mind me. Okay. There. I can still enjoy the smell. So, how have you been? Yeah, I told you, Mom broke her arm Saturday night. Roland's friend birthday party was on Sunday. It was laser tag, bumper cars, and arcade. We had an amazing time. I'm so happy with the group. There were 9 boys there. 9? Counting Tristan? Not counting, 9 counting Tristan. So 8 of Roland's classmates. They are the sweetest little things. At 8 years old, boys are just awesome. So we had a really good time, took lots of pictures. Uncle Matt came up from Massachusetts, and he's really a giant kid himself. So he did the laser tag with the kids, and it was just a really nice way to spend an afternoon. I wasn't sure what the count would be for parents staying or leaving, or how it would go for kids. We were 0 and 8. Everyone dropped and left. So that's good for me to know, because I had a little social anxiety about that. Like, I can do a short chat, how you doing, hi, yep, come back. But to do a 2-hour socializing thing, and I didn't want to be socializing. I wanted to be watching my son have fun with his friends, and it's great too, because a couple of the boys are his really good friends, and so I could talk to them the same way I would talk to Roland. So that was fun too. So, and my dad came. He left the patient behind. She couldn't come. She had been up all night in pain, and then they didn't go to the emergency room till 5 a.m. So, yeah, my mother wasn't there. But my dad was, and Steve was there, and it was great. So we did that. I went to my first PTA meeting last week. I've been a member for 3 years, but I've never been before, so that was fun. It was different, and it amazed me. If there were 25 people there, I knew half of them from other events, soccer, other volunteering, classmates, whatever. So that was nice. It gave me a bit of a feeling of community, so I was happy to do that. I think that's, yeah. What else? It was all soccer all the time. We watched a very uneventful Patriots game on Sunday. I like it when they win, but for me, I like a good football game. And by good, I mean lots of offense. Don't show me really good defenses. Well, unless it's the Patriots having a really good defense. But what was the second game we watched? Rams and Saints. It was amazingly slow because they were head-to-head, and it was 3-3, I think, maybe we watched the whole thing. I don't even know. I fell asleep. But I had a really busy couple of days, and Lauren was over, my bestie, and she didn't care if I fell asleep for 20 minutes. So, yeah, I think that's about all. I've blathered enough at you. I'll probably think of something else I wanted to say. Oh, in the Wheel of Time saga update, we are now on book 13. he finished book 12, but he didn't have 13 on the ship with him. So I got a couple days, I think I got like 4 or 5 days head start on him, so I am way ahead of him in book 13. So, and the writing is so great, and instead of being like, oh, I've got to keep going, it's like, oh, I want to read it. So I'm excited about that. And then, did I tell you about Another Life? I think I did. I must have. Anyways, so I watched that on Netflix. Have I watched anything else good recently? No. New season of Mindhunter is out. So Steve and I watched a couple of episodes last night. That's one of the few shows that he will watch. And we always get a kick out of the fact that one of the FBI agents is Kristoff, is the voice of Kristoff in Frozen. It's just funny. So, small world. Not really, but you know what I mean. So now I am going to get some editing done on this and take the rest of the day for a me day because I'm deserving. I want to get some knitting done. I want to get that hat finished and move on those socks. So I don't know what I'm going to cast on next. Hopefully I'll come up with something good and new. All right, I'm going to stop talking. All right, take care. Happy knitting. See you in a few days. Bye.